Hello everybody, Timix back with more of Let's Play Motorsport Manager from the Ashes Challenge. Trying to finish it up, race 14 out of 16, so there's 3 left. And we've got a short turnaround and heavy rain. I think both of those are going to be good for us. The short turnaround because it gives the others less time to improve their car. As you can see, we're not nearly as good as the top cars. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so let's see what we have in the mail. Ah, yes, the old champagne story. He was just playing around. I don't really care if the chairman likes it. I want to keep Wexler happy, which, by the way, he's got 3 weeks left. So one more race, I think. This should be the last one where we have to worry about his injury. Car repairs done. And let's get improving our parts. Now we're looking at gearbox and front wing, and then the engine if we have time. So if we yank these out, we do have going to be a couple days left. Let's make sure we max those, and then when they're like almost there, I'll throw on the engine. We're going to max out that miserably crappy front wing and our gearbox. Let's get to it. Okay, yes, he's happy that we're in first. 41 laps, only 40% chance of rain. 3+ miles. Looks like it's going to be a long track. Steinman being the top, and the front wing is the key part. Yeah, we could struggle. Loving the suspension. Good. Well, that won't be too important on this one. And then they say, Nina Holtz says, we don't really have a great car for Sydney, to be brutally honest, after they were just picked to perform well because of their front wing. So which is it? And we're predicted to finish around 4th. Anything other than 4th will probably raise the blood pressure. Okay. So we're not expected to finish too high. Alright, let's take a look at this now. And we're really close. So let's go ahead and throw on the engines. There we go. And that one needs the most work, so that's going to suck up most of the effort. But I mean, we're within like 1 to 4 points on all these. So go with that. There we go. We're going to lose a couple sponsorship deals here. Don't care. It looks like we boosted our car a little bit with that work, which has been happening in between races. I've been able to mitigate things just a bit. Now our gearbox is 5th. And our front wing is 7th. Okay. So our engine, though, is 3rd. The rear wing is now 2nd behind Scuderia. They finally caught us on that. So we have no parts that are the best. Suspension down in 5th. Brakes 4th. So it's going to keep becoming a problem. But I'm thinking like the rain is going to help us. And we also do have a good lead. Again, our goal is to just, it's 34-point lead. Our goal is to just not lose too much of the lead. We could lose 11 points a race from here on out and still win. So, and I just want to double check the rules because I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've looked at this already. I'm just making sure there's no double points rules. And there's not. There are no double points in the final race. So yeah, we could lose by 11 points each race, still win by a point. And that's a fairly significant margin. So finally got some margin for error, but definitely still want to do everything we can. We're going to keep all of our drivers. And go with that as always. Stormy and 4 degrees. It's going to be frigid. Well, I mean, that seems to be an obvious go for super soft tires. Now it's 41 laps. I think I'll do that. I'll, at least work out the softs in case I want to do some things with, just getting the number of pit stops where we want them. But with it that cold, I can't imagine using mediums is going to be helpful at all. So we're picked to finish 7th and 8th again, which is the worst that we've been. Wow, Lebanon looking great. Wexler looking solid. I could live with that for sure. No, you're not going to use medium tires. Sorry. It's way too cold for that. And what am I doing? I'll reset that in a second. Weight stripping first. Okay. Nope. There it is. Sometimes forget that that engine has the more significant red zone. There we go, 360 and 390, only a couple of crucial parts. Now back to our setup. Let's do something like that. And of course we're going to switch to super softs. That's not even high enough. So Wexler wants some serious pressure on the arrows here. Major downforce going on. Those look about right. Let's see what we have. One lap qualifying is, of course, what I want. And they're both on the same page with it. Outstanding. So a 7 and a 6 to start out. Should get some decent results here. Lots of medium tires. I don't get that with the temperature what it is. I really don't. Maybe players or teams are going to be going for, fewer pit stops, and they feel they need that for the duration of the race. But of course, we have done that in a couple races recently, and not being a super fast car, we're going to want to try to do that. There's a lot of turns in this track. I'm just not sure about it being worth it. My default is going to be, since it's that cold, use the tires that are more matched to that. We shall see. Both of them liking the downforce. Okay, so it's just under a minute and a half lap. So we're looking at about a 1 hour race. And Lipinen also happy with the gear ratios. Saarinen with the fastest lap because he's a jerk. Alright. Good across the board. Probably 80% or so. Yep, 84. And let's assume higher on this. So let's go with 0.2. Let's just see how close that gets us. And then I want to try going, let's try there. Fairly small changes. And what's our weather? Yeah, we'll try to stick with the qualifying and wrap that up. Slightly better setup for Wexler, up at 88%. So definitely wants to go even higher. On the wings. Handling's real close. Let's flip this to about there. Yeah, let's try that. And then we'll wrap up the super soft in qualifying. We'll have a good idea where we need to adjust things further. It's going to stay dry and 3%, so let's just keep rolling. And I'm just going to speed through this. At this point, there's nothing that I'm really concerned about with the practice. I've done it enough. I know what we're going to hit. So, just get through the session a little quicker. Both of them liking the arrow. And yeah, let's send them both around one more time. Might have been able to go with one of them going around one more, but I don't think so. So it's close. Yeah, I might have been able to do that. And Wexler doesn't like the changes to the speed. Probably could have gotten away with, only sending one of them around and pulling the other one in, but we're still going to be fine. We're still going to get all of our trim bonuses that we want. So it's an error, a smallish error, an error that's not going to cost us anything. So I'm not too worried about it. Excellent, great, and okay. So we're liking the arrow. It didn't go up that far, partly because the speed is worse. So we want more oversteer, and we want to be more on the top speed side of things. So probably something like that. Looks like it's a bit much. That should be close. Race trim on the softs. Oh, yeah, do Wexler too. Don't just let him sit in there. Okay. He went down to 84%. Nailed it on the downforce. See, handling went from great to good. So he wants more understeer. And acceleration. They're actually, they want significantly different things here. Okay. So let's try that. And that should get us close. That should get us into the mid-90s at least on each of them. And we can tweak it after that. It's interesting to me how few drivers are working on the Super Softs. We had some early on, but that's very interesting to me. When it's, I mean, I'd use Ultras if I could. It's clearly the best tire for the temperature that we're going to have. The coldest race we've had all year, and maybe the whole LP, so... And they've got to be thinking more pit stops, or lowering their number of pit stops. So we'll see what ends up being the winning strategy for this race. You can see the soft tires on normal, just they're dropping. They're dropping significantly in temperature. Of course, running on super softs aggressively would make, you know, it definitely going to wear the tires out faster. So we'll see how it goes. Lippinen likes the speed adjustments. And so does Wexler. Excellent. Curious to see how much better Espinosa does now that she's out on Super Softs. How far up is her time going to be? Chapman retakes the top lap mark. Holtz moves up. So you got some more of them going out on the Super Softs now. Espinosa's time with that pretty competitive with what we were getting. So we still could have a shot at both of us beating Espinosa in this race and having a close result. I'm feeling like it's a possible thing if we don't screw it up. And that's about where I'd want to be. Losing by a few points, but enough to sort of start running out the clock here on this season. And I think I want to bring everybody in on this lap. Just to make the final changes that we're going to be able to make. because we won't quite hit our level 3 before the stop, but we'll hit it easily by the end of the session. There's Espinosa going up a little more now. Faster than us by 1 to 3/10. But also on a slightly faster track, and after, adjustments to the speed of things have changed, so I still think we're going to be roughly competitive with Espinosa. Saarinen will be faster. Okay, close on Lipinen. Gotta fix the speed yet. 96%. Close, but not quite there. Alright, so we're good there. Poor there. Great here. Definitely more top speed. So we'll just do that. And let's see about Wexler. Okay, close also, but we need to adjust the handling. 98%. Could possibly get it to 99 or even 100. Great. Good. And great. So that was great. And that was great. Preferably go partway between them. I want to try that. That should be really close. And then let's roll through the rest of this. So predicted 7th and 8th for the race. We finished 6th and 7th. We've got Steinman in the top spots, as expected. Scuderia right behind them. We're competitive with Panther for 3rd place is the way it's looking now. Can we do any better in qualifying? Let's find out about that. Okay, so this is the 2nd attempt for me at this qualifying. Because the weather says partly cloudy. That's a lie. We're going to have some rain here. And you can see it starts just after the beginning. And if you look at the weather map, it's going to be wet at the very end of it also. Or the rain timeline. And those parts where it's super wet, you can forget about running a decent time on it. So it's about hitting the window there. It's specifically the window right in the middle, just past the middle, where it's going to dry out to almost nothing. And you want to be finishing up, perfect timing would be finishing up your qualifying run just before it switches over. And we had DeGraaf winning the qualifying on inner tires. But I want to try to do it on dries. And again, you've got to hit the weather just right. So, in order to do that, I've got to send them out, I think, with just over 7 minutes. I'm going to try 7:15, see how that works. But before I do that, there is something else I need to attend to, because Wexler's setup is not yet perfected. Now, we have Lipinen's fine. He's at 98%. 98% here too, but we want to try to make it just a hair better. So, and hold on, let me... This was great. This was great. And that was great. So we just need to move it just a hair to the understeer is what I found. So I tried that, and then I thought it might throw this off Turns out I don't think it throws it off that much. Okay. I'm going to send you out, and you know what? Since it is raining, let's do this on inters just for the fun of it. But this is just a start and stop for Wexler. And Lippinen's just going to sit in here. Now, they're both only going to have one run at this. So whatever they get is what they get. Let's just speed through this while everybody else goes out. Most of them on dry tires in the rain. Good job, guys. Way to be idiots. Although I say that as they outgamed me on the first try at this. Because I ran some decent laps in the wets. It's just too much of a difference between the wets and everything else. Yep, there it is, 99%. That's what I wanted. So now we are all set here. And I'm going to send out one driver at 7:15, the other one shortly afterwards. You're going to have to bunch them together a little bit more than usual to get them both through, because they both have that narrow window. Yes, we know. Yeah, see, I mean, the fastest lap is 1:34. Like, that's 8-9 seconds faster than practice. Now, it's going to be pretty wet when I send them out, and that's a little freaky. But the idea is that it's gotten, a lot of the water will be gone by the time they get around to start their lap. We already found the best setup. We're not worried about that. Okay. Now the water's below half. It's drying out quickly. But there's going to be a small window of time that we can do this in. Did we hit it? Did we time it correctly? That is 95% of the battle here. Tire temp's good there. Let's make sure we hit them for Wexler. And we do. It's pretty easy to hit them on this track. Okay, it's damp. You can see the rain's coming in a couple minutes. But it's only damp out there. It's just going to get a little bit drier. And you see Lippinen over a second ahead of the pace. And Surkov got it down to 1:30 on a wet lap. But we can do much better. You see Wexler went faster. Not surprising because he's going second. The question is, will it start raining before he gets done? As it continues to dry out. And you can see much faster lap. Now where's Wexler? It's just starting to rain as he finishes. So that was about perfect, really. Yep, he did it faster. That was about perfect. I can't ask for any more than that. Let's just see what the rest of the times come in. And I don't think anybody can even get close to us. You see the graph who won qualifying with a similar time last time. 7/10 behind. So he hit the time well for inters, is why he's able to do it that fast. And we were working off of a partially wet track, some wetness to it, on super softs, but we were still significantly better. Nobody else is close. We're going to get the front row. So that right there is a textbook example of manipulating the weather to get a much higher qualifying position than you deserve. Now look at our competition. They're down 10th and 11th. And, you know, Chapman is at 9th. And where in the world is Holtz? All the way down last. Now, they're going to push up higher. I don't think we're going to beat them for the race. Maybe we can, if depending on how the rain falls. But we're going to be... I mean, we've given ourselves every advantage we can at the start to finish as high as we can, to not be behind other drivers like Schmidt and Surikov and, you know, the Panther drivers and so on. So, set up as well as we possibly can be. 98 and 99% is strong for the setups in the top positions for qualifying. Now, can we execute it during the race? Can we pull off a competitive race with the other top teams? Certainly hope so. Well, hopefully it will be. Wexler being the quickest. So it's supposed to be heavy rain. Naturally, we've got partly cloudy. Yep. And it is going to rain. It's going to rain at about... well, each segment's about exactly 2 laps on this one. So we're looking at rain starting at around lap 15. We want to get through that many, 14, 15 laps. Then we're going to have rain, and we're going to have a lot of it. Yeah, we're actually going to want to go a little bit longer than that. We're probably going to go through 16 laps and then switch to wets. That's going to be my guess. And then who knows what at the end. Okay. Super Softs, race trim. Nope, race trim, engine expert. Doesn't matter what tires we use for him. How many laps can we get through on these tires? That's going to be the key thing. Okay. Lipinen, of course, is going to take off 3 laps of fuel. Okay, says 19 to 21. So we want to use the super softs, but we want to be cautious on them so that we can get as much distance out of them as we're going to need. And I mean, it's going to have to be a 2-stop race. Super softs, then wets, then something else for that last third. Or we could drive the softs more aggressively. The thing is, with the temperature being as low as it is, I don't think we can drive the super softs that cautiously. So I think we've got to go with the softs. Glad I brought some. And that also means that I want to switch to soft tires for Lipinen. I'm sure the other driver is going to start off on supers. Yep. So it's going to be interesting trying to hold them off, to put it mildly. But both our drivers are at 6, 7s behind us and 6s. So it looks like a lot of the drivers are pretty even as far as how strong their form is. Here's Wexler in the pole position to start things out. Okay, decent start for both drivers. I'm liking it. And up comes Blanc past Lipinen. Just want to lose as little. Yep, Blanc taking the lead now. Maybe. Wexler fighting him for it. And getting it back. Very nice job, Dieter. Chapman already moving up to 8th. Where's Saarinen and Espinoza, though? They're in the bottom half of the field. Good for them. And here comes Wexler. Yeah, Wexler is pulling away now. Let's drop you down to push. Lipinen, I think I'm going to drop you down to push as well. You're a second ahead of Blanc. And you're the important cog in this machine now. Here we come out for the end of lap 2. So we're going to drop to high for Wexler and to medium for Lipinen. If they close in on him, I'm going to try to slow them down. Use the backup thing that I almost never use on the tires, but this is a perfect scenario for it. If I can get the rest of the field, you know, just back them up. And let's go neutral. Nope. I want to stay with push to keep the tire temperature reasonably high. Because I think push seems to be enough to basically maintain tire temperature. So I think that's what we're going for. Let's take a look at Wexler and let's see how much that's going to wear out his tires per lap. So we want to get through about 16 laps. So we're starting at 86. Yeah, we're pulling away. Like Chapman moving up through the field and whatnot, but we're getting valuable time. And we come up to the sharp turn. That's going to absolutely destroy our front wing. Because I don't even care about what Chapman's doing. Because he can beat us all he wants for the most part. And then Saarinen in 9th, Espinoza in 11th. Already several seconds behind. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, we're getting probably between 4 and 5% per lap dropping on the tires. So that means... yeah, I think we can push the whole rest of the way and have plenty of tire. Definitely going to do that. Now, Lipinen would be just fine to slow them down, but they're not keeping up with them. And, of course, their tires now much more worn than ours. So that's going to degrade their speed. So, you know, that whole... this is working out fantastically for us. And we could all but clinch this today. Like, not in actuality clinch it, but in practical terms, we could clinch this today. Just make it unrealistic for anybody to catch us. 5-6 and 6-6 on the form is pretty good. And it's great to see Wexler, the one out there taking the lead, particularly since he's going to be slowing down later on due to his fitness issues. Ninth and 10th for Saarinen and Espinoza. They are moving up, but not very fast. They're already 11 seconds back. And they're faster than us, but they're not enough faster than us to, like, destroy us and gain over a second a lap or anything like that. So if we get out here far enough, they may not catch us. Dieter Wexler with an 8-second lead over everybody except for Lipinen. He's pulling away from Lipinen while Lipinen pulls away from the field. If anything, push is just causing slightly more wear on him. So I think I want to stick with push and then spend a little bit of time on attack even before we go in. Now, given what the... yeah, I mean, I'd like to stretch this all the way to like 20 if I can. Because until the water gets above half... Ooh, look at that. It's going to be wet the whole rest of the way. We're going to be on wets for the second half of the race. But I'd like to get to level 20 because even though there's... You can see like there's a significant amount of water, enough for, you know, low level. It's basically at just above the dividing line between inters and dries. But we're not going to go to inters. So dry tires are going to be better in that than the wet ones. So probably want to get close to level 20 if I can. Sarda and Espinosa still back there. 13 or 14 seconds back. They're in some real trouble. Chapman being held up by DeGraaf. And Blanc, of course, not fast enough to catch us. So this is just beautiful right here. And I talked on the previous couple runs and the, you know, I was like, I just kept waiting for that break race where, you know, the weather was just going to hand it to us and all that. This is it. I think this is the one right here. It's clear they're not going to catch us anytime soon, so I'm going to drop to neutral. Just drop the tire temps, drop the wear. Because I'm wanting to stretch this out even more than I expected. Not going to be too long until they start coming in for pit stops. Not north, but like Saarinen, Espinosa. Holtz up to 9th. If we look at our points here. Yeah, that's crushing. That would just be crushing. You know, it's almost a doubling of our lead. It's also really interesting, that battle that Blanc had with Wexler. I mean, if Blanc had gotten ahead of Wexler and managed to stay there, that really would have changed everything. But we eked it out, and now look at what's going on. Gotta imagine the Scuderia Rossini bosses are just like, I can't believe this is happening. It's told away our top driver, and now he's running away with this race and basically putting them in the winner's circle for the season. And for me, this has been by far the toughest challenge. To have this happen towards the end, just take the pressure off of us the last couple races. That's going to be great. Alright, now we'll switch back to push. "12 laps done, half of our tire gone. 2/3 of the actual standard amount of wear. So we may not make it to to lap 20, but I think we can get to 18 or 19. And Moreno has come in, Blanc has come in, and is going inters way too early. It's a typical thing they do. Oh, here comes the rain now. It started a little sooner than I thought. Thought it was going to be another lap or two. So we're going to watch that water level now. Fuel-wise, Lipinen has a little bit extra, but not much. And Wexler can keep pushing things for a while yet. Maybe another 10 laps. And Moreno has crashed. Well, that doesn't really change anything. He was in last place. Of course, we do have to worry about Wexler. When you drive aggressively in the rain, it's an increased risk. And as I think about that, let's just back him off to medium, just because we don't need that extra. 20-second lead. We don't need it. And I think I want to drop back to neutral on the tires here. Probably for the rest of this stint. Approaching the point now where the Inter should be the fastest tire. So these drivers down here are going to do pretty well until it gets wetter. And then they're going to be in big trouble. You just see on the mini-map the huge gap that we have now. We're going to at least get through 18, and then we'll see if we can get a 19th lap. But if we have to go significantly into the red, then I'm going to want to switch to wets. Everybody who was on Super Softs has gone into the pits. Yep. Okay, we're going to go push. And we're going to come in after 18. Switch to full wets. Both cars. And then we have 23 laps left. Let me check this. Yeah. We're not going to make it on those. Not even going to come close. Not going to try. We're just going to want to get 12 laps out of these and then another 11 for the final stint. So we're going to want to come in on lap 30. Get the most we can out of the wets. We're going to be pushing those pretty hard. And Wexler only 4-4. Lipinen has been catching him up a little bit. He's going to stay in first, which is huge. Does Lipinen stay second? Barely. Oh, push it, push it. Go high. I can't go high for a long time, but I've got a little bit of it here, and let's stay ahead of Sharp. You know what? No, don't bother with it. Sharp's on dry tires. So we don't need to concern ourselves with that because, and so is Holtz behind. Once the rain starts coming down harder, and it's going to soon, we're now fully into inter territory. Another lap or two, and we're going to be seeing it's going to go be wet, favorable weather. All of these drivers are going to be in serious trouble. We don't have to worry about anybody 12th or below. We don't have to worry about them because they're 30 seconds behind. So, yeah, go have a fun time there, Espinoza. It's not going to last long. And I'm not. The only reason I'm not using up Wexler's fuel is I don't want to be aggressively pushing him in the rain and risk a crash. So here comes the rain. It's coming heavier. We're now fully into inter territory and starting to edge towards wets territory. See, Espinoza still catching Wexler, but that is going to change. Now I'm back up to 1.1. It's pretty even between them right now. Starting to pull away a little bit. Yep, and now it's getting more. Oh yeah, now it's getting a lot more pronounced because now we're in the point where it's fully wet. Now Lipinen, don't spend a lot of time behind these people. Got just enough. This is the time to use your fuel and make sure you just blow by them. Goodbye. Yeah, you're going to switch tires. That's smart, but no, you're never going to see us again. Okay. Now it's just time to roll around the track. And basically back where we were. Now Espinoza is up to third and Saarinen eighth, and that's to be expected. They are faster than the other cars. They're going to eventually work their way up the field. They're not going to catch us, but they're going to close down the amount of points they lose to us. They're still going to lose points on a race that they can't afford to lose them. So, just a case of how much we win by, not if we win at this point. It's just so different, so relaxing, because the other races have just been nerve-wracking. And that's, I mean, you know, that's good, tense racing and everything when you're just trying to wring everything out of it and you feel like you're always fighting uphill. But this one is just like, we got this. We got this. I mean, if it wasn't the race, I would be fast forwarding it using time compression. It's all over but the shouting here. Looks like North was right about not doing well in Sydney, though. Dead last after winning the previous race. Unbelievable. Jenny North not having herself a very good day. Wexler now 30 seconds ahead of the field. And about half a lap ahead of North. Well, no, it's got to be a little bit less than that. A little bit more than that ahead, but probably not looking at lapping anybody on this track. But a sizable victory. And Espinoza is trying to keep up, but we're just barely pulling away. Which is a nice sign, given that they've got fresher tires. A few more laps before we come in. And Wexler, of course, is going to have extra fuel at the end of this. But it's just totally not worth the risk. I do like the water trails coming off the back of the cars. I think those are well done. Now the rain has stopped for now. It's going to dry out a little bit. And then it's going to start up again. Not going to dry out to any significant degree. Everybody's still going to be on wets. And this is also definitely the race, I think, of all the races I've ever done where we've got the most significant, wet tires for most of the race. Which means nobody's tire prep matters for this, because it didn't even rain at all in practice. Nobody was training them. I could go more aggressive with the tires for the last couple laps here, but for the same reason of, look, let's not risk a crash. It's not worth a little bit of time. The extra risk is not worth a little bit of time I would get. So let's just chill out and keep on rolling along. We're going with medium and push pretty much the entire rest of the race, I do believe. And the rain comes back to stop the track from the fairly small bit of drying out that it did. 2 more laps until we pit. Not going to be a huge amount of wear left on the tires by then anyway. And we've got some cars coming in for their second stops. So we're not far behind Ribeiro here. But again, we'll be coming in soon. The interesting thing will be after this next pit stop, can Saarinen make a move up further? Get some more points for our rivals. There we go. We'll be down around 30, maybe a little bit higher, as we come in for the last pit stop of the day. And if our last one's any indication, we should not have a problem maintaining the lead. Espinosa there, and Espinosa has stopped twice already. But we'll probably have to stop again. But Lipponen should be a few seconds ahead of Espinosa after the pit. The gap will close temporarily. And North having to do some repairs, so just a miserable day. Oh, good. 2+ second screw up on the pits. We haven't seen that in a while. And actually, we absolutely can afford those kind of mistakes. Yeah, we're about 5 seconds for Lipponen here. Halfway between Wexler and Espinosa. Looks like the water amount on the track slowly increasing. And it's going to be heavy rain for the rest of the day and even cooler. So that just reinforces that our current job of medium and push is the right one. So we have just over 10 laps of this to go. We're going to go around the track repeatedly. And nobody is going to be able to stop us. And it's not out of the question that we might lap Jenny North, which would be absolutely humiliating for Steinman. Espinosa may actually try to gut this out, but I can't see any of the other drivers between her and Chapman in 14th. That gap right there. Can't see any of the other drivers making it on the current tires. A long shot for Espinosa as well. Appears to have gained a bit of ground on Lipponen, but not enough to do anything with. Chapman going wide. He does that more often than the others, it would seem. At least, it just seems that way to me in any case. Schmidt and Saarinen coming in. Yeah, now Espinosa fading back further from Lipponen in any case. So Oliveira's got to be hopping mad that she's not the one who gets to drive this car and get this victory. Because she probably would have gotten it if she was out there too. But them's the breaks. More drivers gradually coming in. And we've got about 7.5 laps left still to run. Track back to being fully soaked. Yeah, we are still gradually catching up to Jenny North. Lundqvist, the latest to go in for fresh tires. And I think Espinosa's gonna have to make a change. Definitely will be best for us if she has to stop near the end. She wouldn't lose many spots. Lose one, maybe two. Sharp, Surikov, Flores definitely going to have to go in. Yep, Surikov's going to do some repairs as well. Another shake-up in who is where in the standings. Saarinen's up to 9th now. We could have Schmidt in 3rd and DeGraff in 4th, and that would be a heck of a finish for them. You know what? I just realized something. I've been confusing Jenny North with Nina Holtz the whole time. They're not the same driver. Nina Holtz is the Steinman. And not nearly, as bad a day as I thought. And then Jenny North, for Catano, is always expecting to be bad. Oh, Iker Vidal crashes. So, yeah. Everything I said about her predicting to have a bad... No, it was Nina Holtz we were talking about. And 7th is, respectable. Chapman in 8th. Espinosa has come back in, but is still going to finish 3rd because Sharp is going to have to go in. And Wexler having some issues with gearbox, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, parts not doing as well on this track as I thought they might, but there's only a few laps left. He's going to do okay. There goes Sharp. Down to 5th. So this is probably what we're looking at. Saarinen might get past Chapman, even DeGraff, but looking at something like, 43 to 17. Scuderia Rossini finishing... Looks like still probably 2nd. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are very close as we are owning this race. Jenny North does get lapped. And looks quite certain to be the only one, as we are 3 laps, just under 3 laps, from wrapping up this wire-to-wire domination. Is what it's been. Saarinen up to 8th. Chapman moving up as well. That closes our gap to 43 to 19. Still enough to give us well over a 50-point lead going into the last 2 races, which is, we're not going to lose that much. Chapman is close on the tires. Closer than I thought. And is needed repair as well. Let's see what they decide to do with him. He's trying to hold off Schmidt and Saarinen. We have begun the final lap. Chapman a lap and a half to go. So this is the key part of the race for now. It's going to determine how far ahead we stay. Chapman's going to gut it out. I thought he probably will, but he was borderline. So let's see if Saarinen can do anything here. Trying to get by Schmidt. Eighth place, not really a good look for Scuderia's top driver as Wexler crosses the line winning. Lipinen crosses the line second. Doesn't look like Saarinen's going to be able to do anything here. Switching the strategy back off and on as the AI tends to do. Basically when it doesn't know what to do. Yep. Very, very nice. Dieter Wexler with the win. De Graaf loses a couple positions here. Rules violation. Lucia Flores as well. We got some cheaters. Ooh, a 4-part down or 4-spot downgrade. The day belongs to us. 58-point lead. It's all over but the shouting now. 2 races ago, I still thought we might very well be in trouble. Now we've just got to run out the clock and not have a complete epic fail the last 2 races. So, Rio is next, and if I do well there, reasonably well, then I can clinch the win and do the final race, shorter video in montage format, which would be Dubai, which, as we all remember, is a very long track. So that would probably be better for everybody's sanity. But yeah, Rio, we could lose some points and still completely have it mathematically confirmed there. So that's going to be the goal. That'll be up next time. Till then, thanks for watching. The conclusion of the From the Ashes Challenge coming up soon.